Welcome back to Lucky Gray, y'all. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Come on in here. Come on. I want y'all to be able to kick off your boots and stay a while. Yes, kick them boots off, kick them heels off, kick off them Uggs, kick off. Just kick off everything and sit on down and come on in. Okay, let's talk, y'all. Let's talk. Okay, yesterday I was discussing and bringing up about marriages in the part that I felt like I was playing in the marriage due to some parts about me being unhealed and not being able to see red flags that he had due to my own red flags that I had. Okay, okay, honey. When I tell you, look, I be getting my words together and how I want to state it, but we're gonna make sure that we're doing what over here, masking off. I know that we so used to put mask on as esthetician, but over here at Lucky Gray Baby, we're gonna mask off because we want you to be able to have that true beauty, shine, glow from within, from your authentic self. Yes, so that you can get that glow not just for a while, but for a lifetime glow. Okay, okay. But okay, now let's dive back into it. Cause baby, I was so ready to dive into it, but I just got to let y'all know that part right there. Okay, okay. Okay, so I felt like with the marriage and the parts that I played with the abandonment, the trust issues, and not being healed from my past, I couldn't even see his red flags due to my own red flags of trying to live in. And what I mean by that, that is seeking love on the outside rather than seeking it within myself first. Okay, and I feel like a lot of relationships, um we go into them expecting what we expect because we was taught what we was taught from tradition values when it comes to, okay, the woman goes into it, it's basically never about herself, it's only about the man. Love, cherish, nurture, do all of this for the man, make sure, and then the woman is also forgot about in the marriage. You not I'm not going to speak on everybody marriage, but majority, nine times out of 10, what you hear most people discuss or what women, talk about is they lose themselves. And a lot of time you have guys that's married because, and most of their complaints are, well, I was working, providing. So therefore, a lot of times we going off of what we were shown from tradition and what we was taught, and that's why I feel like it's so important, like in your 20s, to get the chance to know yourself and coming to terms with knowing the Most High, your spirit guides, your you know, whatever you see, learn to connect so that you can hear for yourself. And it's okay to challenge um the the things that your parents want to say, hey, this right here is die hard. No, no, no. It's okay. Not even so much to challenge as in to make it a just take it's okay to take what your parents tell you back to the Most High. Period. Take it back to the divine. Sit within yourself and sit on it in your 20s. That's how I feel. I feel like in your 20s, I mentioned this in another video before. In them 20s, it's time for you to sometimes unlearn some of those things that you've learned, because only thing I feel like it does is keep you stuck in a cycle, a repeating cycle of a generation of curses that's still going to linger and not be broken. Because oftentimes our parents taught us from what they felt the best was, because it was shunned upon them to even try to look and think for themselves. If you ask me, they couldn't really think for themselves. If they did anything outside of the box, let's be real. If they did anything outside of the box, they was automatically ridiculed, held accountable for it. Like, no, 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 no. Couldn't be authentic. It could not be their authentic selves. Let me slow down because I'm so excited to get this out. I'm like, let me get it to you. You know what I'm saying? Because I want you to have that glow, like I stated, forever. Does this glow? So we got to heal. And oftentimes, parents bringing forth teaching our babies, our offspring, does that same thing in that same ways. And I feel, call a spade a spade, that's the reason for a lot of failed marriages today. I know people ain't gonna like that, but it's the truth. A lot of failed marriages was based upon we was doing things operating off of what we know and didn't sit down long enough to discuss and heal from past trauma and past wounds and breaking generational curses before we moved forward. But I don't look at it as a bad thing, even though it is, because I always try to find a learning lesson in whatever it is that I went through. So therefore, even though my marriage may not have made it, I can say that it was lessons learned and lessons that needed to be learned, especially when it came to me. Because even though while I was in the marriage and I still stated it, I even seen it, hey, I need to heal. And to discuss that with my partner back then, hey, I need to heal. And when people feeling like, okay, you saying that you want to heal, but I don't want to let you go because somebody else may get you because, you the best that I don't have. So there was some codependency on that part too. And things that they probably felt in, their story. I have my story. But you have to learn to still decide to choose you, regardless on how it may hurt somebody else. If you knowing that you need to heal. Take that time to heal. Don't allow nobody to let you be stuck. And my thing was, I stayed in something way longer than what I should have been. But at the same time, I probably needed to be there because those was lessons that needed to be learned. Yeah, true. Like lessons that need to be learned because the signs was there. I know people is so overrated when, oh, red flags, red flags, red flags. Well, those flags to me are unhealed signs, basically. The signs of being unhealed in some type of way. Ooh, oh, have mercy. So shiny. Shine like a little brown penny, huh? But seriously though, you go into it expecting one thing, especially like they made it seem like, my opinion, they made it seem like, oh, love was gonna sustain it. As long as you in love, that's what the marriage was about. It was like, no, nobody prepared you for the spiritual war that was gonna take place. And I feel like a lot of times you ain't gonna understand it until you have been through it. Because a lot of time lessons aren't learned until you go through it. Let's be real. Everybody ain't somebody that can learn just from watching somebody else go through something. Many times you need to go through it and learn the lesson. So oftentimes you get married. Now, how long you gonna stay in that lesson is up to you. Because let's be real. Divorce, that's the worst thing you could do in this right here. Well, a lot of times people put people together. So really, you with somebody else's wife or husband, but because you put yourself with that person. And then again, who's not to say that you was called to not be with that person? Because a lot of times we want to make it seem like everybody's life we come into is supposed to be bananas, creams, and rainbows and gumdrops. No, you might was brought into that person's life as a lesson, just for them to learn something from. And we cannot rule out past lifetimes because the sooner we start to understand and appreciate, hey, what is call a spade, and really say past lives and different stuff, that this stuff exists, then we could start facing and dealing with reality to know, hey, this is what's actually going on. It's way deeper than the 3D and what you living in. This is spiritual. And let's be real, you're not here only for a good time. You here for your purpose. And if you're fortunate enough and the Most High see fit that you're fortunate enough, you will have somebody along that path that aligns with you to where you get to be in a happy divine partner relationship or kingdom spouse relationship, to be doing it with that partner. But y'all still will have to stay in an alignment. When you see that person healing or working on some things, you still got to stay in alignment and heal and work on some things too, to even still be on that vibration. But that's going to go over a lot of people's head, because let's face the truth, a lot of people don't want to hear that. They just want to say, well, I came in, I'm this right here, I'm that right there. No. A lot of times you got to work on you. They need to be working on them, because it still need to be an individuality, because we wasn't really taught that. And so we got married going into it just focused all onto that person. Still not having an individuality to where you lost yourself in the marriage. So I feel like today, a lot of marriages that's going on, they broke apart for a reason. Because it was lessons that need to be learned. People put people together. It wasn't even ordained. And some of the times when they was together, it was for the wrong reasons that they even came together. You had your reasons why, because it was your own healing, that things of codependency or looking for love on the outside, validation of love rather than self-love. They was looking for it because they was really needing a mama, or they ain't have a mama, so they needed somebody to coddle them and do this right here. And they was going in for their wrong reasons, because they had unhealthy mommy issues and different stuff, and felt like, well, hey, this is something I'm supposed to do because this is what it looked like. And I'm a treasure because they've been married for 49, 50, 11 years and don't even understand you going off of the look, because back then they went off of the look, and back then they went off of had to stay in something because that was the best that they could do. So a lot of times you're repeating traditions that you don't even know the reason of why. That's why it's best to find out for yourself and have your own relationships with the divine, the most high. Have your own relationship so that you can get the proof. Because a lot of times, let's be real, we want to put the most high inside the box, right? Just because we're in the box. You want to put them inside the box, put the most high inside the box too. Meaning that the most high can't do no better than what they're giving you. Your parents' decisions outrank the most high. That's the reason that your parents in the mess that they in. But you don't really know that it's mess, because they don't dress that mess to make it look like it's beautiful. But then you go within, it's straight chaos. It's straight boo-boo. But they ain't gonna tell you that because they too busy. Nobody ever taught them to be their authentic selves, because they didn't have a voice to be their authentic self, to go against anything that their parents say, and not even to go against it in a challenging way, but just to say, hey, I was led to do this, and you was probably led by the Most High to say what you said. The Most High was using you as a vessel to say what you said, and now they upset with you, and now you feel some type of way because that inner child in you is still suffering from fear. Because a lot of times our parents back then operated out of straight fear. Remember when I was telling you about my story now about how I was raised, when the warfare and different stuff with the witchcraft and black magic, okay, it got to the point of operating out of fear. So a lot of times they was operating out of fear, not just because of witchcraft and all of that. I'm saying overall they was operating out of fear of why not to do something, because they was made to not do it. That still stemmed from a place of when they was being controlled mentally. And because you chose to do something different and step out and be the difference, now you shine upon. Now because you thinking different, because the Most High is literally using to speak through you to be different, to be authentic. Being your authentic self, everybody ain't gonna have to like you. But you need to operate out of it. In order to do so, you're gonna have to heal so that you're not bleeding onto other people, so that you can have something that's worth it. And I feel like in today's time with these marriages, which I'm not even upset about it. I'm happy. I'm not even bitter about it. You have so many women like, okay, I love to be single and this right here. You hear the guy saying, oh, the women ain't this and the women ain't that. Baby, that mean that we're going places. Think about it. Because now we're coming up to a time to where, okay, if everything fell apart, it only got one other way to go, which is up and together. Because men are taking that time to step back and fix issues within self that they never got a chance to fix. Some of them was playing husband to their mamas, husbands to their sisters, shit, husband even to their brothers sometimes. I'm gonna call a spade, because over here looking great, we're gonna mask off, we're gonna dive deep. Because they never got a chance just to operate and being a child. So a lot of their own insecurities and things that's on them, they having to fix themselves. And a lot of our women are getting a chance to rediscover who they are and to find that self-love. So just imagine when those weddings and those ceremonies and things do come together. Right now it's been like a period of separation, high divorce rates. Baby, I ain't upset. Because God is going to get a chance to really operate in authentic, real, true relationships, I feel. So I'm looking to the good rather than the bad. Women are taking time to self-heal and get themselves together. So, baby, when they do come into union, baby, it's going to be so beautiful. And those guys are getting themselves together to learn how to be real, true leaders and stand into their own authentic selves and be able to be what it is that they're called to be and stand in their power. And it's going to come together so beautifully because we're doing the inner work. We're healing from past traumas. We're not no longer stuck in the rotation of traditional roller coasters because we're breaking off some of that. It need to be broke. It need to be broke so that you can heal. Because like I stated, if you're unhealed, you allow yourself to be a vessel for dark entities and anything that don't supposed to be here to keep riding through on your family bloodline. And it's time to cut out that mess. We want to heal so that we can be the best version of ourselves so that we can get that true glow that we need, that authenticity. Hold on, y'all. I have a child that just came into the room. Hi, sir. Can I help you?
Can we pause that for a minute? I need to talk to you about it.
Gotcha. Hold on one second, y'all. So these new relationships that's flourishing are going to come together so beautifully. And they're going to last. And not only last, you're going to be having lineage that's coming into fruition in your future to where it's back to beautiful relationships to where it's is how it needs to be. But the only way we can get there, some things got to fall apart in order to come back together. And you just make sure that you don't get left behind. And what I mean is getting left behind because you choose not to do the inner work. Ain't no way you still in 2025 and you still gotta cheat and you grown. What's wrong? Ain't no way in 2025 you still afraid to have your opinion or have your voice to your parents now. Do it respectfully, tastefully, baby. We do taste over here, okay? Do it respectfully and tastefully. Because if you continue to stand in your mask of a self, you're not being true to yourself. You're not even being truthful to who the Most High call you to be. So how can the Most High use you? Except for one other type of way. It's to come into people's lives to do what you do. And even though you coming in trying to literally help somebody and be the best version of yourself, you still won't come off that to people that's unhealed or that's broken. Because you could be dealing and being your best self, being authentic, that people won't even trust it. I don't have that to go on to. Coming in as my true authentic self, they're like, ain't no way she this happy for real. Ain't no way she's like this right here. So I gotta check the temperature. I gotta make sure that it's always like this. She's always thinking of something positive. She always want to look at the glass half full rather than empty. I got to test it. I got to throw some rocks off in here. I got to try to bring some trauma into her life or flip something up. And then once you don't stand in it and you pull your power back and you walk out because you say, no, you ain't for to disturb my peace no longer because I know my value. I was brought into your life to actually help you to ascend, to arise. And you thinking that you for to play with me, continue to play with me, I'm calling all my power back to me purified. I'm walking away. And then they're like, they get the reality check. No, that was the real deal. Dang! I really had the real deal. Hold on. Come back. Ain't no comeback. See right there? You too unhealed. You were so unhealed that you pissed over the blessing that you actually had that was right there for you. And a lot of time, because your family is so buried in traditions of the same roller coaster of doing the exact same thing, they so caught up in it to where you didn't get a chance to enjoy it because you was going off the opinion of what they thought. Because you got a chance to be chosen to where God brought you something in for your time of picking and choosing, and they already had theirs and messed over theirs, and now they was trying to keep you from it. You got to be careful. Your mama, dad, sister, cousin, brother, family. Not only friends and people on the outside, but your family will keep you from your blessing too. If you don't know how to have discernment and intuition for yourself. I done been there and done that too. Because they can talk you into a burning bridge also if you ain't got the eyes for yourself. So that's why you need to make sure that you have your own connection with source. You ask for your spiritual eyes and that you cleanse your spiritual eyes often. That you have your own relationship so that you won't miss things. And that things that you need to miss, you can do it with grace and know that it's not for you. So that you can stop and break some of these curses off your lineage. So that you can be the best version of yourselves, not only for yourself, but for your lineage that's to come, for those that's aspired to be mothers, and not only for those just aspiring to be mothers, so that you can be a better person overall. Because like I stated before, those men was taught to, they couldn't have nothing but just to go to work. That's all they felt like being a leader was, to go to work and to pop a baby. And the woman just had to stay barefoot and pregnant. And how he was to show love was by getting her pregnant, just lying down and sleeping with her.
Yeah.
1 second. To where men were just gun ho, like they felt like that was the only part of their leadership. They didn't understand that they literally had to lead her spiritually and be able to hear, but also be able to hear from the woman. We're intuitive to be able to listen to the woman. Also, because a lot of time when that man is at spiritual warfare and he tap out, baby, you gonna need somebody on your team that can tap in and may say, hey, let me get on board and get this right here going so I can make sure that we still cover. But you can only do that from a place of coming into connection with your person and literally clinging to your person. Back then, when they got married, they went off and moved far away from their people. So anything that was on the bloodline or into or whatever, it didn't get a chance to hop over there, even though he may need to heal from some things and she may dealt with it. But they was able to see it together and fight it together. Nowadays, you got people now living in the home with the grandparents and mama. Ain't nothing wrong with it because we know that times are hard. So it's best to come together and probably live all up under one roof because that's the way society made it to where you can only afford. But you still have to have your own when it comes to when you cling into your divine partner, your kingdom spouse, to be able to talk so that when y'all go up against it, because baby, it can come through the family, y'all gonna have to be able to stick together because it can come through his mama, your mama, the kid. Y'all gonna have to stand. Y'all got to go to battle together, not with each other, but for each other, and making sure that you stay in alignment. They getting it too well. Society getting so caught up on the material things we chasing, and if you chase the most high, then that one thing that you chase, it's all gonna flow to you. Be the attraction, not the chase, because it will allow you to continue to repeat cycles of missing out on family, of your family that you're creating, to use your authentic gifts that they don't want you to use, and to be able to be that light. We have to sit down and do some self-reflection. And I feel like that's where the Most High have everyone at. Literally saying no relationships, like to a point. And now you're starting to see slowly relationships coming back together to where, okay, now people taking the time in this relationship. And if you're not taking your time in a relationship and you just rushing into something, knowing that you want to heal, knowing that you got skeletons in the closet that really need to come out, you are really literally cheating yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Take this time to heal. Be alone. Heal some of them abandonment issues. Learn to love on self so that you will know how to show up and love somebody else. And then it's okay if that person end up wanting to leave, because then you still will have the strength to say, okay, it didn't work out. It was meant to fall apart so that something else could fall better together. But let me continue to love on me. A lot of time we stay in stuff not even because you love that person. You want to stay in with them because you're trying to keep somebody else from getting them. You don't want the headache, but you don't want nobody else to have it either. Selfish. You're so selfish, greedy, and don't even understand you for the slump go through it mentally because you choosing to hold on to something and not let it go because of your own greed. When you don't learn the lesson, let the lesson go, and it's okay because we all are lessons to somebody. If you really think that you are so perfect and that you're so holy than thou because you healed and everything else, no, because you still might be called to come into somebody's life to shake some things up to get them to awaken. But that don't mean that that's your person. That don't mean that you're supposed to stick with them. I was caught up thinking that too with past relationships, that hey, I came into their life and then I had to realize that's when you have to tap into your spiritual and understand who you are. No, you was called into this person's life for this season to actually do this right here, to wake them up. Because sometimes, let's call a spade a spade, you are better than that person. And some people don't come into your life better than you because they're healed a little further on their journey. And they had to come in to shake some things up so that they can awaken you to supposedly rise to where you're supposed to be. So you get so gun-ho and so mad and upset because they hurt me. The enemy wants you to focus in so much on that the person hurt you and not saying, hey, that was a lesson that I need to learn so that I can wake up and heal myself from some things so that I can become a better version of myself so that now I can move accordingly. Because I am more than this situation. I am better than this situation. So the Most High still love me enough to bring me into this situation and say I can rise from this situation. But I can't be in it for the wrong reasons and take advantage of it. Because just because people don't come out here saying, oh, I got these gifts and I know this and I know that, don't mean that those people are asleep or that they don't know. They can see you coming a mile away. But some of them are okay with their, in their, where they at on their journey to where they allow you to experience them because the Most High need them to experience you. To finish healing some things that's within them that could have, because let's be real, this journey is all about healing. You will never stop healing on something and learning lessons. But it's how you choose to go about learning your lessons. Either you can stay stuck in the rut, let the enemy choose to use you, which you're going to be used all up and thrown away and spit out. And to be honest with you, you might well cut your losses and just come on over to the winning side. Because if you stay trying to work for the enemy, not only if you're going to be used, choose, and abused and hurt, you still going to have to end up coming back over to the winning side. So you go either walk to the healing side or you going to get dragged to the healing side. Because all of it still work for the Most High. A lot of you are called here to help those that's falling. Not to stay stuck and party with them. Because, baby, let's be real. You get here and you start enjoying the earthly way of things, baby. You be outside. Okay. Been there and done it. But then you get hit hard in the face like, boom. Hold on. I'm just a little twerk. Nah. You got a bigger mission. You can't get stuck doing the twerk. It's too many that's already falling, and I need something here that's look, baby. We need y'all up to the next level because you got big fishes to fry. And everybody know we from the country. In the city, people, you like them fish fries. You always have a good time at the fish fry. Okay?
Shout out French fries.
I didn't say French fries. I said fish fries. But anywho, y'all, anytime I know when he comes, that let me know that it's time to like doop, doop, doop. I know. I be so excited to see y'all too. Lucky Gray family. I be excited to see y'all too. Because like I said, I ain't here just for the lights, sweetheart. It's not about the lights with me. Because I really want to just stay behind the scenes and God said, now it's time for the last to be first. I need you foremost because I did not take you through what I took you through in order for you to sit on it. Okay? A lot of y'all went through things and it's not for y'all to sit on, but it's going to come a time when you're going to know that you need to speak on it. So give yourself grace. I'm going to give myself grace. And we're going to all give each other grace over here at Lucky Gray. And like I stated before, we don't come over here doing that judgment stuff. If some of y'all are, for whatever reason that you feel like you way past this point, it's somebody that still had to get through to you in order to be where you at to heal too. So give those around you grace too. And you can't save everybody. Some things cause for the Most High to come in and do too. Sometimes you just need to be I'm gonna blow a little bit on you. You just need to experience a little bit of me and I'm gonna keep going. Because some people will kick and fight not to change. And it's not for you to try to change them. The Most High, the divine, don't force themselves on nobody. Okay? You have free will. And over here at Lucky Gray, you still got that same free will. I just want to be able to share some of my stories to where you can get that inner glow. Because I don't want y'all to just have that glow for a minute when it comes to getting these facials to be like the bomb facials that I give. I don't ever want you to come the same way and leave the same way. I'll be for real on that. Like anybody that have experienced me, I'm authentically me, you know, however that may seem. So that means that I come with flaws. I come with scars. Hello, I'm a survivor, baby. Shout out to the breast cancer survivor and shout out to the ones that also lost their lives. Because we still we still standing on y'all. Because we know it's not an easy battle. And be in the moment. We don't forget how to be in the moment, y'all. Be in the moment. Be in the moment. The enemy want to keep you confused and to stay stuck doing other stuff. Sometimes just be in the moment. And a lot of time, those kids are things I feel like are reasons to why things that you need to work on that's within self. But we'll say that for another video. So y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Shout out to my brothers.
Okay, that's how you feel. Okay. Yeah, shout out. But I enjoyed y'all over here. I enjoyed the chat today, and we're gonna be chatting more. We're gonna be constantly diving deep, unmasking. Because like I stated, y'all, we want people to heal, be healthy, happy, and to have that inner glow that can shine forever. Okay? So I will be seeing y'all soon. And if y'all got
we're gonna make some salsa.
Okay, we're gonna be making some salsa. See, I love being a mom. I ain't lying to you. Mom of 3 boys, and we're gonna do what we gonna need to do. Okay, y'all. So I'll be talking to y'all soon. Y'all keep y'all head up and just know that you got this. You have this. We ain't making excuses in 2025, baby. We healing, unmasking, and get some things together. So that
was a bad year. I mean,
it was never bad, baby. We learn lessons and we keep it dealing. Okay, so. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be talking to y'all very soon. Talk to you later. Oh.